From Calzone Spaceship, 4 friends go driving through the woods.
We got these chicks waiting for us at the cabin.
They want to smoke cigarettes.
We're gonna be getting high on weed cigarettes.
And drink beers.
And drinking Michelob Ultra.
But then they decide to stop for a pee.
Kids, I gotta pee out of my hole.
That's when everyone starts dying. Piss Stop Massacre!
After the first video came out, I asked Sean how many views it had. It was like 291. I'm like, there are 291 comics in South Florida? Josh isn't here for B-roll.
So this is what happens when 15 friends live in the house. Things stop getting polite and things start getting real.
No, Josh Geller, this is actually a story about shitty gigs. You know those gigs you get and you go to them and you're like, what the f am I doing here? Or you get up and you think things are gonna be awesome and it's the worst experience you've ever had. I wanna hear about your worst story, the worst situation you've ever come across while doing stand-up comedy.
Got the hookahs out. Hookah. Man, hookah in the smoking world, that's equivalent to a hand job. You know what I'm saying? Like, it gets you relaxed, but where are we going from here? You know what I mean?
Anytime a comic gets booked in anything, they're like, yeah, I'll do it. And they just like, they don't ask questions. They're just like, especially at our stage, we're just like, yeah, you're gonna give me stage time? I will be there. So I drive like an hour to get down there. I mean, so we thought there was gonna be a shit ton of people there and like a whole big thing, but no. It was pretty empty. The best part of that was I had friends with me and we got really, really drunk and there was a really cute dog there. And we decided collectively we were gonna steal that dog. Our plan was spoiled only by the fact that we were really, really drunk and we were telling everyone that we were gonna steal that dog. So then the owner, the person running the event came up to us. She was like, do you plan on stealing my friend's dog? We were like, well, yeah, kinda. And so she was like, she's like, why? And this is the rough group of friends, like the badass friends that we have, is that collectively we just all went, because it's so cute.
So I get this hosting gig for a Thursday night show and I'm super excited about it. I feel like this is like a huge opportunity for me to really take a step forward. I figured, hey, if I do really well at hosting, maybe I can host some more stuff, get on stage, start doing my act, and I just bomb so fucking hard, so bad. I eat so much dick, get off stage, just kind of hide in the green room, and that was it. The other night I went up, I said, thanks, I'll talk to you. Went home, got drunk, went to sleep. Went to Wet Willie's the next night.
To do the open mic.
Yeah.
Like, the most hellish gig you could have is bombing in front of your family. Period.
Oh, I didn't even think of that.
Yeah,
All right,
like,
let's talk about that.
When I first started doing comedy, I was so proud of myself for being on stage and able to make people laugh that I rushed and I invited my family out and I froze on stage. Mom's first time seeing me, she was like, don't worry, Kevin, you can do it. And I watched the recording of that. And like I used to revisit it, just watching the recording, I could relive the anxiety and that death-defying fear that like of failure like that. That was like probably the worst I've ever felt in my life, and I've been to prison. Like
one of my worst gigs was actually at like one of the best venues. I was probably drinking a little too much because I would occasionally drink before doing it. Never do that anymore. But I got up and it was pretty awful. Like it was just, I was shaky. I wasn't confident in my material. It was a fairly full room and I wasn't getting like a lot of any kind of response. And the only thing that really made it so much worse than it had to be was when I got off stage and I went back to the table where my wife was filming the set and she looked at me and said, I don't know what you were doing up there because that is the worst thing that I've ever seen you do.
You know, I've seen comics do hell gigs and they've turned a hell gig into an awesome show. Where you're like, oh my God, they literally turned, lemons into lemonade. If you think oh my God, there's only 2 people at the bar, and I don't want to tell jokes to nothing but 4 comics or 5 comics, and no one's gonna, then yeah, you're gonna eat it. You just wasted your time. Hell gigs though can also ruin friendships.
I spend so much time watching movies on Netflix, but I spend a hell of a lot more time looking for movies to watch on Netflix.
So, I'm on stage at the Funky Biscuit, telling my jokes, things are going really well. Everybody is just cackling. Start talking about the gays. Guy stands up. He says, hey, I didn't know this was a faggot place. And I was taken aback. I was like, sir, you can't just come in here and call this a place. Okay, this is a faggot restaurant. All right, this is the Funny Biscuit. It's a classy joint. He gets up, comes to me, at my face. You know, I'm certainly not a Russian, but I got a Polish body. I'm ready to go. I'm built to win. I'm built to kill, built to spill. Comes at me, Manny Pacquiao, parry, block, Chun-Li, Ryu, Ken, Sonic Boom. His attack was so fast. I hit my head on a speaker. I go unconscious. I wake up. 2 guys are blowing me. 3 guys I'm blowing. Everybody's coming. Nobody's laughing. Turns out I don't even do comedy. I'm a gay escort.
I've had pool balls thrown at me, billiard balls. I've had those thrown at me. I've had fruit. I actually had fruit was thrown at me one time, and Lisa Correo ran up, who's 4'2", small, tiny woman. She had to go run down people who were throwing fruit at me. I've had people threaten to kill me. I've had knives pulled on me. I mean, I've done drag shows where people have filleted 2.5-foot purple dildos before. I've had to open up for bands, and that's the worst thing you can ever do. I've had to do shows at 2 o'clock in the afternoon on a sunny outdoor stage, which is horrible.
It's some stupid shit like, man, that ain't shit. My balls come. Wait.
One time at this place in downtown Miami, I did all the exact same jokes, and they were just terrible. I mean, not just like that they didn't get it or that they didn't like it, but they fucking hated it, and they hated me, and they hated the jokes that I was doing. And I felt like literally anywhere else in any other setting, these jokes would have done better. And that's just what a hell gig is no matter what you're putting forward, it's just going to be awful.
It was one time I was working with 2 other comics. I was gonna close out the show. The first comic was obviously the MC, second comic feature, and we were opening up for a pilot, like a not an airplane pilot, like a TV pilot, and they were playing in this bar. And so the first comic, the MC, gets on stage and eats it, and then the feature gets on stage and eats it, and then when I get on stage, I just acknowledge it and go, "Hey everybody, I don't want to be here either. Nobody wants to be here. We're all having a shitty, horrible time." And then everybody laughed, and then my set was one of the better sets I've ever had in my life.
Taking them bad gigs and making them good. Hold on, this guy's trying to merge. That's hell gigs. Sometimes they're the best gigs. I guess it's good to say you gotta take the good with the bad, you know? You gotta take the good with the bad and the ugly. And you gotta take that movie and you gotta return it to Blockbuster. But you also have to take hell gigs for what they are. They're like open mics. It's like bombing. They're a learning experience. Nothing is ever really as bad as you think. So if you refuse to do hell gigs, then you're refusing the craft.
Dude, what do you think about hell gigs?